Every time I die in Hollow Knight, I have to do 5 sit-ups. Can I beat the game with a true ending and also get a 6-pack at the same time? Before I get started with the actual game though, I wanted to get a baseline for where I am in terms of sit-ups. I was able to do 18 sit-ups, and this is what my current ab situation looks like. Non-existent. I got a big old belly. I do want to say a disclaimer though. I started playing right after eating dinner, so I was definitely a little bit more bloated than usual, which explains the rotundness of my belly, I'd say. But with that out of the way, it was time to start gaming. On this first day of gaming, not much happened to be honest. I found Dirtmouth, found my spider bro friend, and beat the false knight, all with no deaths. Wait, this guy's easy. What was I panicking for? That was light work. The next day was definitely much more eventful. I got the Vengeful Spirit spell from the shaman, I made my way to the green path, and eventually found the Mothwing cloak. I then went to the fungal wastes, and here's where I do my first sit-ups of the run. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Oh no! Followed shortly by my second set of sit-ups. Let's heal a bit so that I don't die at the How did I die? I eventually find the Mantis Claw before beating the Mantis Lords on my first try. Now might be a good time to mention, I have beaten Hollow Knight before, but that was literally years ago, so while I remember a little bit here and there, I have mostly forgotten everything about the game. I then found some more NPCs, I then died again. No, I was so greedy with the heal. I found a tram pass, and then I proceeded to get lost in the City of Tears for the rest of the day. After wandering around for far too long, I finally find where I'm supposed to go. I then get telefragged by my new least favorite enemy. Eventually though, I do make my way to the next boss, the Soul Master. Wait, what? Why am I locked out? Oh, I see him right there. That's the boss. Uh-oh. Ah, yes, he's a big teleporting guy. I remember now. I beat the Soul Master on my first try, and I get the Desolate Dive spell, but I almost wish I didn't beat the Soul Master on my first try. You see, I thought I could beat the harder soul version of the boss because I beat the normal one so easily. Unfortunately, I did not beat the soul version easily, or at all for that matter. Okay. Maybe this is the guy that I thought was very difficult. It was really hard. The soul version of him. Oh my gosh, he's a lot faster, and those waves are a lot larger. Oh, and there's 3! Oh my gosh. I died to this guy way too many times, but I guess it's good for my abs. Eventually I do give up, and I leave to explore the Crystal Peak, where I end the day by getting the Crystal Heart. The first thing I did today was get the Great Slash. I then proceeded to never use it. I then got my first mask upgrade. Next, I made it to the Royal Waterways and found a friend. I then found the Fluke Marm, and let me just say, I hate this boss. I do 25 sit-ups thanks to this guy, but I do eventually beat him. After beating him, I died 2 more times before finding the Dung Defender. He's so goofy, I actually love him. He's awesome. I wish I didn't have to kill him, but alas. It took 4 tries, but I do beat him eventually. I open up the shortcut to the City of Tears, and I end the day by getting Isma's Tear. It's been 4 days now at this point, and I've died 23 times and done 115 sit-ups. Unfortunately, that's nowhere near enough sit-ups to make a difference, as you can see here. If I suck in my gut and flex really hard, and I pulled my extra fat and skin down, you can kind of see like 2 blocks. Like, oh. Today was a busy day for me. I started out by bumping into my friend Cloth. I then find the first Pale Ore and upgraded my nail. After that, I find and beat the Broken Vessel to get the Monarch Wings. I tried to beat the Dream version of the Broken Vessel, but after dying 6 times, I decide to come back later. I go to explore the Kingdom's Edge, and I find this perv, but I find that sensation not unpleasant. Before fighting Hornet again. I beat her without dying, and I get the King's Brand. I get yet another nail upgrade before finding myself in a beehive. I make my way to the Hive Knight and die to him a couple of times before beating him. I then open up the door into the Abyss and get the Shade Cloak. After that, I go to the Fog Canyon and get the Howling Wraiths. I then go to the Queen's Gardens and bump into my friend Cloth again. While exploring the Queen's Gardens, I pick up the Love Key before finding my way to Cloth yet again. After a couple of deaths, Cloth helps me beat the boss, but at a terrible cost. Oh no! No! My friend! Rest in peace to a real one. I end the day by dropping all my Geo into the fountain and getting the Abyss Streak. Today, I finally head to my first Dreamer, the Dreamer in Deep Nest. On my way there, I meet and fight the warrior spirit Galleon. I then find a group of totally innocent and friendly bugs who encourage me to sit on their totally safe and normal bench. What a nice bench. Surely nothing bad will happen to me if I sit on this bench. This totally fine and safe bench. Wait, why are you getting close to me? Oh no! How could I have not seen this happening to me? How could this happen? 1 Dreamer down, 3 to go. Next, I get taken to the Stag Nest. Here, I meet another warrior spirit, Gorb. After beating Gorb, I find another Nail Master and get the Cyclone Slash. I then proceed to ignore it and go back to the Crystal Peak to explore some areas that are now unlocked since I have the double jump. Here, I find the Enraged Guardian. He's not a particularly hard boss, but I die my first death of the day here, as well as my second, third, fourth, and fifth deaths of the day. It's really not hard at oh my god. Enough distractions though, it's time to go get the second Dreamer in the Fog Canyon. But first, a stupid death. Finally, I make it to the lair of the Dreamer, and here, I die twice, but eventually I beat it with the help of my friend Quirrell. I did a total of 40 sit-ups today. The first thing I do is upgrade my nail once again. After that, I spent the rest of the day in the Colosseum of Fools. First up was the Trial of the Warrior. Here, I discovered that nail arts are actually quite useful. Okay, that is pretty useful. Maybe I should use these more. I have some fun beating up the old fool, Zote, and get through the first trial pretty easily. Next up was the Trial of the Conqueror. This was also pretty easy, although I did get really close to dying at the end there. That'd be insane! No. No. Oh my gosh, I need more soul. Oh, I did it. Last up was the Trial of the Fool. So far, there had been no deaths, but that was about to change. I spent the next hour and a half just dying over and over again in the last trial. I died a total of 11 times before I had to go to bed and end stream. Overall, I did 55 sit-ups and failed to beat the last trial. It's been about a week since I've started this challenge now, and while my abs are getting slightly more defined, I've still got a long ways to go. I start out trying to beat the last trial again, but I failed 4 times. I decide, you know what, let's take a short break and go collect some upgrades. I get the Nail Master's Glory, complete another Mask and Spirit Circle, get the Descending Dark spell upgrade, as well as the Shade Soul spell upgrade. With all these upgrades, I then go back to the Colosseum, and then I use these charms. I was using more of a nail build initially, but I decided to switch it up and use more of a hybrid. I finally beat the last trial. Who knew all you needed was just a bunch of upgrades? Like, all he's doing is... okay. Yes! I did it! Finally! Oh my god, I wonder how many push-ups or how many sit-ups I did total. Oh god. This boss was really easy actually. That was actually so easy. I just panicked because I was like, oh my god, if I die, I'm gonna have to do it all over again. I then go to the Tower of Love and find the Collector. He dies pretty easily on my first try, and I get the collector's map from this guy, which I can use to find the remaining grubs. I do some more exploring and stumble across Markov. He goes down on my first try too. Lastly, I find Nosk. This boss fight was so annoying. I died to him once, but I beat him on my second try. It's a little bit more defined. This is without eating breakfast, so my belly is flat, it is relaxed. Yeah, there's still not much going on, but there's more. Today was another long day. I start out by getting the rest of the grubs that I've missed using the collector's map. I then go fight the Watcher Knights on my way to the last Dreamer. After absorbing the last dreamer, I go and get my final nail upgrade. Now it's time to start collecting dream essences. I start out with the dream version of the false knight, and I die to him a whopping 17 times. That's the most I've died to any boss. This is also a good time to mention that I had been getting a lot of YouTube comments about how sit-ups are bad for your back, and they're apparently not the best for growing your abs either. So instead of doing sit-ups, I started doing leg raises, crunches, and hip dips. Next up was the Soul Tyrant. I died to him previously a ton of times, but this time, with all my power-ups, I managed to beat him on my first try. I also beat the dream version of the Corrupted Vessel on my first try. Next was the White Defender, who I beat on my third try. Lastly, I beat the dream version of Zote. After Zote, I go visit the Seer with my 2500 dream essence. She passes away in peace, but not before giving me the Awoken Dream Nail. With my Awoken Dream Nail, I then go to the White Castle, and oh boy, do I hate this place. Thankfully, I have the High Blood Charm, so I was eventually able to make my way to the end and get the second half of the King Soul. With the full King Soul, I then go to the Abyss and end the day by getting the Void Heart. It's finally time to fight the final main story boss of the game, Radiance. I'd never fought Radiance before, and I went into this fight expecting to do a lot of crunches. But first, let's get a look at my abs. This is what it looks like right now. My first death was to the Hollow Knight. That would also be my only death to the Hollow Knight. This next run, I managed to make my way to Radiance for the first time, but I pretty much die right away. A couple of tries later, I make it to Phase 2 for the first time. I die again, but I feel pretty confident since Phase 2 had the same exact moves as Phase 1, it's just that you're on these platforms instead of on a flat surface. A couple of tries later, this happens. No. Yep, it turns out that was the end of the fight, and I choked right at the last second. This fight was so good, and honestly, so fun to do. It didn't take me too long to learn all of the different movesets and attacks that Radiance had, but it did take me a bit to actually be able to execute the right inputs to dodge the attacks that Radiance had. At this point though, I had died 93 times and done 465 ab exercises in a span of about a week and a half. Now, to answer the question of the video, is this enough to get a six-pack? Well, if it was, a lot more people would have six-packs for sure. But I had a great time playing Hollow Knight and getting the good true ending. I'm still not super sure on the lore and stuff of Hollow Knight, but it seems like we got the good ending. We beat the bad guy and the infection is gone. For good this time, I think. We're not done yet though. There's still the DLC to do. But before we get to the DLC, I thought I would show off the rest of this Radiance fight because I only got hit 4 times in the entire fight. And I don't know, I just thought that was really impressive and I wanted to show off. Oh gosh, it just went straight into the other side. Okay, phase 1 down very quickly. That's good. Now time for phase 2. Okay. Missed. Okay. Oh no. Okay, you know what? That's just 1 health. That's fine. Oh, I dodged that somehow. Where'd it go? Oh. Oh no. I jumped into that on accident. Wait, how am I supposed to hit it? Oh. Oh my goodness, did I do it? Oh, is that the Hollow Knight helping me? Oh. Let's go! Wait, that one's pretty easy. That wasn't that bad at all. I'm sure Absolute Radiance is like a million times harder, but... Wait, that wasn't that bad. Wait, I got through phase 2 with like full health? I think. Oh my gosh, I did it. It's not a hard fight, it's just seeing. Yeah, I thought it was really hard, but I guess that's everyone talking about absolute radiance, which I don't think I want to try that. Absolute is horrible. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. Oh my goodness, we did it. We did it. Overall, it took me 10 deaths to beat. It was honestly not that bad. I thought I would die a lot more times than I did, and this is what my abs look like after my 10 deaths to Radiance. There hasn't been that much change, but it's getting there. The last thing I have left to do now before I move on to Silksong is to fight Nightmare King Grim. Today is all about the Grim Troop DLC. I get my little guy fed with these souls and then face King Grim for the first time. I die 3 times, but I beat him on my first try easily enough. I then get the rest of the souls and it's time for Nightmare King Grim. I start the fight with 96 total deaths, and this is how my first death went. Oh, that is also different. Jesus! Based off of that, how many deaths do you think it took me to beat Nightmare King Grim? Oh my gosh, I was not paying. Well, it ended up taking me 22 deaths to beat Nightmare King Grim, which is the most deaths of any boss fight so far in the entire run. But I feel like he was actually not that bad of a fight. He only had 4 or 5 different moves, and it's just that it took me 22 deaths to learn how to dodge and execute against each of his moves. With Nightmare King Grim down, I'm done with Hollow Knight. I could try to do the Pantheons, but low-key, I just want to play Silksong. Here's a quick comparison of my abs before and after playing Hollow Knight. There's a little bit more definition here, which is probably all that I can really ask for, considering I really didn't do that many sit-ups, with a total of 590 sit-ups done over a course of a week and a half. I do still want a 6-pack though, and so my plan is to do 10 crunches every death in Silksong, instead of the 5 per death that I did in Hollow Knight. And yes, you heard that right, I am going to be doing crunches instead of sit-ups so I can hopefully avoid hurting my back, and I'm hoping I won't regret doubling the number of crunches that I do from 5 to 10. I have heard Silksong is harder, but realistically I do need to do a lot more crunches if I want any hope of getting a 6-pack by the end of this. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll join me on my journey to get a 6-pack in Silksong. I'll be streaming my journey on twitch.tv/Samioh_, so go drop a follow if that sounds interesting to you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you later. Things are looking pretty good. Oh, I did it. Told you guys. And I only lost 1 mask. I'm only down 1 mask. Wait, that was easy. Once I stopped panicking, once I stopped greeting, and just like focus on the attack patterns and dodging, that was pretty easy.